This movie was not very good. And I don't know what the director or whoever directed one big part of the movie was on. Because it's a pretty big deal, but whoever directed it acted like it's not. Just this specific scene, like it's pretty messed up. Not as messed up as some other stuff that's happened in horror movies, but it's messed up. And the movie just kind of just pretends that it's not. So, these two guys are best friends. They're brothers for life. He cheats on her, which is a douchebag thing to do. It's happened in so many horror movies, but the big part is that he recorded her while they were having sex, and she did not know. The movie acts like that's not a big deal. They just talk about how he cheated, about how he stole his best friend's girl. When his best friend finds out, he punches him in the face a bunch of times. But the only thing he talks about is how he was, fucking his girlfriend. And then even when it's on the news, they only refer to it as a jealous ex. Because anyway, the whole point of the movie is they're prank callers. They've been prank calling for years for their YouTube channel. And they prank called the wrong person one time, like a year ago. They did a lot of messed up pranks. Even before we find out the messed up prank that got someone killed. 2 people, actually. They did some messed up pranks during like a montage of pranks. There's one where they call this guy and say that his wife is dead and she died in a car crash. Yeah, that's a cool prank. Anyway, they called someone's house like a year ago and they made a prank call. And during the prank call, they pretended that there was invaders on the house. Someone was invading the house. So the wife got scared, took a gun, and they said that her child got shot. So she tried to get out of the room after barricading herself in the room, left the room, and she heard a door opening and she shot at the door, and it was her child. So she ended up killing herself right after. So he lost his wife and child on the same day. So he wanted revenge on these pranksters. And he's been watching them for like a year. He even sent them a friend request like 5 days ago. With, it wasn't 5 days ago. They said earlier. Who knows what earlier means, though. And he didn't look at it. He didn't look at the profile. He didn't accept it or anything. He only looked at it because later he recognized the girl during videotape or something that the guy was showing him. Anyway, the movie ends with him getting him to kill Brady, his best friend, without him knowing. He puts a mask on his face and gives him a bat. And he comes out swinging. And he stabs him in the stomach. And then eventually he's like, hey, I want to see who he is. And he takes the mask off and he finds out it's Brady. And we're supposed to feel bad for the guy that recorded someone without their consent while they were having sex. The movie treats him like he's a good person and like this is a sad moment. His final words are the words he's said a few times in the movie, brothers for life. And then he dies. This was not a sad moment. I don't really care. He was a douchebag. But okay. Then they get in a fight. the screen goes black, and we find the girlfriend dead, and him still alive, with a gun and a knife in his hands, and the police on the way. So the police think he did it. Obviously. And he gets framed as a jealous ex. But then right after, they talk about the 2 other deaths that happened in the movie. There's actually 4. Where, they only reference the other 2 for some reason. The 2 that were probably the least important of the movie, besides the fact that they were kinda involved, of the death of the wife and, daughter. Just this guy didn't care, I guess. Because he put these 2 through so much pain. Kept them on a phone call for hours. Took one of their girlfriends. Took the one kid's mom and dad. And was threatening to kill them if they left the house or hung up. But then these other 2 were just kind of used as plot devices. Actually, one was killed immediately. The other one was used as a plot device to scare them. But weren't they a part of the prank too? It was their 4-channel together, all 4 of them. Anyway, movie ends with the whole news thing, right? And they say a double homicide with 2 people that helped record a video. Prank Monkey 69 and Mosley. So that kind of, ruins the whole jealous ex thing. Because he just killed 2 of his friends. Sure, Brady was his friend, but that was because he cheated and stole his girlfriend. Why would he kill Mosley in Prank Monkey 69? The only reason I'm calling him that is because that was his YouTube name in the movie or whatever, and they never referred to him as anything else. But they also don't mention, for some reason, the homicide of the parents. I guess they just haven't found the bodies of the parents yet. They were killed, probably a few blocks down the street. Not to mention, I don't think Prank Monkey 69 was killed at the house, though. Mosley was. He was left at the front door, still alive, with his throat slit. And then later, he's used as bait to get Brady to go outside. When he gets put on the swing set in the backyard. But Prank Monkey 69 was just killed at some random location, I'm pretty sure. Did he drag the body there without being seen? And before the cops arrived? Because obviously they arrived not too long after the girlfriend got shot. So people would report shots fired. So that would mean that, he couldn't be dragging a body in the street. Because most likely it was Larry, the neighbor that got prank called earlier, who's right across the street, that called the police. So that would mean that obviously he couldn't be dragging Prank Monkey 69 in the street. Or Larry would have saw. And yeah, that's about it for the actual movie, but surprisingly, a horror movie, I don't think it's ever happened in a horror movie, has a post-credit scene. And during the credits, there is a scene where there's this YouTube pranker or whatever. It's not actually YouTube because obviously they don't have the rights to that. But he posts a video about how he pranked someone and they cried for real. And then he posts it. then he gets a notification in his inbox, and it's a friend request from this little girl named Izzy, which was the guy that killed all these people's fake account. Like, woohoo. There was no sequel, though, because this was a shitty movie, obviously. But yeah, that's about it. Besides the fact that, I think it was a bit weird that the killer refers to himself as Mr. Lee, because while he's killing people, he found, like, a piece of paper on the ground. It was probably, like, a restaurant or something, and it said Mr. Lee on it, and that's why he referred to himself as that.